Welcome to part 12 of Words of Warning for what lies ahead, for what is to come. Words of warning for what is to come. Yep, for what lies ahead. And you gotta hear some of this stuff, man.
Credible sources, including former high-ranking intel officials, have corroborated to our next guest that the U.S. military is in possession of at least a dozen alien spaceships. A dozen. And reportedly, both our government and private aerospace companies are trying to reverse engineer the ships. One source even said, we're trying to fly these ships. Let's bring in Michael Schellenberger, the founder of Public, on Substack. So what are these sources telling you? We got 12 ships? What are these?
They're alien beings. They're not going to have any security measures whatsoever to prevent humans from driving their vessels. No. Why would they ever have fingerprint technology or anything like that to lock humans out of their out of their technology, so that their technology couldn't be stolen? That's about the dumbest stuff I ever heard in my days. Y'all eating it up. Need a fork and a knife to help that go down. How about some honey? Caramel, maybe.
Fuckers look like, Mike?
The descriptions range from the classic disc shape to the triangular shape to another person described one of the ships as sort of a modified Huey helicopter or deep sea submarine. These are all people that are sane, highly intelligent, in positions to know, and also cleared at...
Clearly a matter of opinion.
Very high levels of security clearance. They were very anxious in speaking with me. I protected their identities, didn't even reveal their genders or the institutions that they work for, but they all felt compelled to speak out in response to this whistleblower who you just quoted, who made those extraordinary claims, and they verified the core claims that indeed the U.S. government does have non-human spacecraft.
And what exactly is the U.S. government doing with...
He didn't say it was alien spacecrafts. He said non-human. It was the first guy there on the end that said that it was alien spacecrafts. It was not the guy in the middle, next to the footage of the speck in the sky. That could have been a bird or a balloon. Or a flying buffoon. Who knows these days? Sorry. I gotta, because this is stupidity. If God is not going to allow the Tower of Babel, He certainly ain't going to allow that kind of stuff floating around in His heaven. Come on, people. Law, yes. We've got an intelligent bunch. Are we dealing with, Lord? Being deceived every day. Everything from pharmakia to this. And they think it's exciting. To be lied to, Lord, to be lied to. And to be deceived like this. Wake them up, Jesus. Wake them up, please, in Jesus' name. Wake your children, Lord. Wake your children. With a great big trumpet blast. Please, Lord. Wake your children. In Jesus' name. Getting back into this footage.
This spacecraft.
They say that, and it sounds crazy, but it is what they say, that the U.S. government has been working to reverse engineer these technologies for many decades, and that the high levels of security has made that very difficult. One person described an effort to involve a broader set of scientists and engineers to cut through the stovepipes in this person's language, and that proposal was rejected. It was made through a major aerospace corporation. What I would emphasize here is that I think we can't have it both ways. If you think there's nothing there, then you should have no objection to Congress representing the American people and finding out. The claims are that these are real objects and that they exist at military bases and with military contractors. So if they're not there, then nobody should object to people looking, including in unannounced visits. But you can't say that there's nothing there and we shouldn't look. I think that's no longer credible. I mean, as one of the persons said to me, the toothpaste is out of the tube. And I think that with the awareness that this may exist, that's enough of a justification for Congress to look into it.
Absolutely, and they should. Have any of your sources described seeing any extraterrestrials?
Yes, one of them did, but I kept it out of the story because for a variety of reasons, I wanted to make sure that we were able to focus on verifying, including with some of the same sources that David Grush also heard from, just to verify that there is a very large number of people that are in positions to know who say that there are indeed non-human craft. And at this point, I'm not really comfortable talking about some of the other details that I was told. I mean, it sounds absolutely crazy. And by the way, I should say, I continue to keep an open mind in both directions. I think everybody should. I think what's changed here is that you have a growing number of people who say this has gone on for long enough. We should not be subject to rumors. We are a democracy. We have control of our military and our intelligence agencies. And if they are hiding something from us, we need to find out. We're big boys and girls, and it may be shocking, the information, but it's our right to know that information. It should not be held from us.
Is the government hiding evidence on alien activity from the public? A new whistleblower has come forward saying exactly that. David Grush is a former intelligence official who claims the government has retrieved several aircraft of non-human origin. Grush was the unidentified aerial phenomenon task force member who's come forward. He says that when he disclosed information about the government's covert programs to the Defense Department, officials retaliated against him. Listen.
The UAP task force was refused access to a broad crash retrieval program.
When you say crash retrieval, what do you mean?
These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles, call it spacecraft if you will, non-human, exotic origin vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
We have spacecraft from another species.
We do, yeah.
How many?
Quite a number. We're definitely not alone. Absolutely, the data points empirically that we're not alone, yeah.
Well, they cut that all to pieces and they just jammed it in there the way they wanted it in that news briefing. They'll take all the fun out of that one. That just wasn't right. They just jammed it in there all together. We are no longer. They took all the reporters' questions out of there. That's not right.
Do we have bodies? Do we have species? Both?
Well, naturally, when you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you encounter dead pilots. And believe it or not, as fantastical as that sounds, it's true.
Leslie Kane broke the UFO whistleblower story and has talked with him many times. She is with me now. Leslie, that's creepy. I mean, crash retrieval of non-human devices? Do you believe this from talking with him?
I have talked to so many people, Harris, with very, very high credentials, people from the intelligence community, people who have been involved in programs involving the study of these objects, and for a long time before he ever came out. So as a reporter, my job is to tell you what they are telling me. Right. And enough people have told me that I absolutely take it very seriously. I have no reason to disbelieve David Grush. He has impeccable credentials. He's incredibly honest and forthcoming. I've talked to him a lot. And yes, I mean, I do believe what he's telling me.
Tell me about
Gosh, she really had to go around the mulberry bush with that answer before she finally spat out a yes. Why couldn't you just say, yes, I believe him? You had to go through his impeccable credentials. Ooh, devil don't lie. No. Devil won't give you no credentials at all. I'll tell you he angel a light. But he ain't gonna give you no credentials or nothing to try to get you believing. No. Not at all. Good Lord Almighty. Jesus, do something with these people. I just can't. Lord. I just can't. In Jesus' name.
the whistleblower. You say his credentials are incredible. Who is he?
Yeah, I mean he's 36 years old. He was a veteran of the Afghanistan War. He was decorated, received awards for his service to this country, and he has since been involved in the intelligence community, both at the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, the NGA, also the NRO, the National Reconnaissance Office, at high levels. Had a lot of responsibilities, high clearances, and on behalf of those two organizations, he was also a member of the UAP Task Force, which was the Department of Defense, and under the supervision of the Navy, an organization that was set up to look into the phenomenon of UAP or UFOs. So it was during that time that he started to do this investigation and talked to lots of different people, and he came, after digging and digging for years, discovered the fact that there were these crash retrieval programs.
Is there a benefit to the public? Because none of this has been shared.
Right. I mean, I would say that actually in the last 6 years, as you may know, there's been a real shift in the public's perception of UFOs because of the government involvement, right? Mm-hmm. We've had open hearings on it. We've had legislation that supports whistleblowers coming forward. I mean, one of the things about him coming forward now is that legislation has been passed to protect whistleblowers and has relieved them of their security clearances if they want to talk about these things.
And when he says non-human intelligence and pilots, dead pilots at times being in these non-human spacecraft, you believe him?
I can't comment on anything about dead pilots. I've never discussed that with him. It was not part of my reporting when I covered the story. The actual physical objects, yes, and I'm telling you, there are more people than just him who have reported this.
Okay, how come we don't get to see them? Why haven't they taken us into the hangars or what have you and actually disclose those to the American people and let the American people see them with their own eyes? Why are they still hiding them if they've now made laws saying that this stuff has to be disclosed? I say take us on a tour of it. I'd like to get on that craft myself just to see it with my own eyes and get to play with the buttons. I promise I will not touch no big red buttons that say nuke. I promise. I won't. Unless it's not locked down. Then I might have to, just to see if it's really a nuke. It might work the microwave. You don't know. Come on, people. As twitted as I am, I got more common sense than that. Y'all ain't buying this, are you?
Same thing, many of them off the record. I think more will be coming forward in the future, too.
What does the
I'm
Bible
sure
say
they will.
about demons?
The more you pay
are
people,
fallen
the more they'll
angels,
come
as we
forth.
read in Revelation 12:9. So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth.
He's deceiving the whole world right now. That's why he's going to be cast out. This could be the big deception that gets him cast out finally. Who knows? We'll see shortly, won't we?
And his angels were cast out with him. When Satan fell, he took 1/3 of the angels with him, as we read in Revelation 12:4. His tail drew a third of the stars of heaven and threw them to the earth. Demons are fallen angels who, along with Satan, chose to rebel against God. Some of the demons are already locked in darkness, bound with everlasting chains, as we read in Jude 1:6. And the angels, who did not keep their proper domain, but left their own abode, he has reserved in everlasting chains.
See you in the next part.